much. So my name is Andreas Csar. I'm originally from Austria. My wife Svetlana is from Bashkortostan, from Ufa. And we live in Kaspisk with our children. We are working here on developing international tourism. Our specialty are self-drive tours for international guests here in Dagestan. Thanks to Corona, the last year we had plenty of time to explore Dagestan ourselves. So we were about 20 weeks, over 20 weeks on the road. We have been in almost any region here in Dagestan. About this workshop. This is about constructing your own way into tourism. And we have here a very diverse audience, some of them already very successful tourism operators, some of them just starting. The emphasis in this workshop will be construct and your, because like a great house, a house does not just happen by luck. A house is planned and constructed. And the same is success in international tourism. It's planned and it's constructed. And you have to find your own way to join the international tourism here in Dagestan. Let's start with a quick poll. Here in Zoom, I can ask a question. And let's just raise hand here. Who is representing a region? A whole region. So we have two people here.
And yes, one.
Yeah, region, district. So we have here in the live audience about. Wonderful. Three. Okay, wonderful. So we have a couple of representatives of the region here. Thank you for joining the poll online. Who is from a village? Like representing a village here?
Yes, me.
As well. Wonderful. Who is representing a company or a group of friends with whom they work? A lot of you. Okay. And who is just here by themselves?
What do you mean by themselves?
No, as a single tour operator, as somebody, as a single entrepreneur, also a couple of people.
I received foreign tourists from Argentina, a couple of people, no, one couple, and someone from California.
Hi guys, my name is Ramazan. I'm from Dagestan, but I live in Miami, and my village here in Dagestan, Igali it calls. Yes, I received, as I said, a couple from Argentina because I also speak Spanish, and it was very interesting. Hello, yes. Also someone from California, southern part of California, and I think well, also I received locals from Russia.
Wonderful. So we have a broad experience here. We have people from all kind of different backgrounds. This is very great. Let me get to
myself also will travel, mostly countries in South America, most of them, and North America because I live there. Some European countries too.
Wonderful.
So I have experience with the tourists.
Wonderful. So it's really great to have this diverse audience here. Let me ask you another question. Where are you from here in Dagestan?
Gumbetovsky district. Can I show it there? I mean, let me see.
Just wait. This is not a question only to you. This is to everybody. This map is my own interpretation of Dagestan. Yeah. As you see, there is this golden triangle between Makhachkala, Kuni, Potlich, where.
I'm from Yellowhead.
So wonderful. So, and the reason why I drew this map, this is how I see tourism or the potential for tourism here. We got this yellow triangle with the major sites where the tourists travel every day, the buses travel every day, well established, plus Derbent, of course. Then we have the coastal area. As somebody said today already, the coastal area has completely different access to tourism. The beach is a different kind of tourism. And then we have the mountainous areas. We have the area number 3. We talked today about Kubachi is there, for example, which is already hard to reach. Yeah, we had already people complaining that the guests are shaken when they arrive there. And then we have number 4, which is really hard to reach. And the reason why I drafted this map, it's not because one region is or one area here, one color is better than the other one, but the way to approach tourism must be a different one. Tourism in the yellow area is a completely different kind of tourism than tourism in the dark green area. And this is something we have to understand from the very beginning. So let's just poll here. Kamal already said he's from the yellow region. Who else is working and living in the yellow region?
I'm from yellow region as well.
Hands up, hands up. Who is from the coastal region? Makhachkala is yellow. Blue? Nobody directly from the coastal area? Who is from 3? The light green. Okay, 2 people here. Original, yes. And who is from the really wild mountains, where it takes a whole day to get here? They probably didn't arrive yet.
One question to get to.
So we also have here some answers from the poll. Thank you very much. So we have representatives of mainly region 1 and 3 here. Thank you very much for this information.
From second and from Lupa.
So, good. Okay, and let's start the workshop. Yeah. So please, you know who your representative, you know where you're from. Now it's the question: what do you love? Just write down what are the things you're really passionate about. We have here painters, for example, today. This is your passion, Bazira. We have other people who are really passionate to hiking. Write it down. What is really your passion? What is you are enthusiastic about? We have Kamal, who does wonderful Jeep tours. So this is why I put this car only for you.
Yeah, we write it down.
Take a piece of paper, take a pen, and write down what are you really passionate about. What?
Passionate about. I mean, do we have to choose from these options?
No, you don't have to choose. This is just some inspiration. Yeah.
Like,
just
choose women.
Yes, you can.
I mean, one of the options.
It should be related to tourism, of course. Yeah. It's like put down what.
Right. So nature.
For me, it is very easy because I really like nature. I like traveling. I like traveling by car. This is what I am really passionate about. This is why we serve self-drive tours. And don't worry too much about the sheep. This is just representing for animals, for example, when you really like, horses or other animals, or don't, these are just some illustrations so that the slide is not white, yeah? Rural tourism. If you're passionate about, visiting the sheep somewhere wild in the mountains, then this is your thing. If you're not, then don't write it. For you, yeah, or what is, just put down the stuff that you really are passionate about. And of course, on Zoom as well, I think you have easily access to a piece of pen, to a pen and a piece of paper. And the reason why I'm asking you this question is because the success in tourism will be when you manage to attract people who share a similar passion and similar values like you yourself. I don't care about 5-star hotels, and this is why it wouldn't make sense to try to attract people who want to stay in a 5-star hotel. And the same is with the things that you wrote. The question is now how to find those people. And one methodology, one way to do this, I would like to share with you today. It's to create a so-called persona. Probably some of you have heard about this. Vali for sure has. This is just a fictional person or a group of people with a similar age. They come from a similar place. They have similar travel experience, etc., etc. Let me give you a specific example. So this is Brigitte. She is already a pensioner. She lives in a small town in Germany. She's traveling alone because her husband is not with her anymore. She has visited over 50 countries. She speaks a little Russian, still from school. She plans to stay 2 weeks in Dagestan. She really loves hiking, horses. So raise your hands. Who would like to meet Brigitte and have Brigitte as their guest? I see a couple of hands, but not all of them. And this is okay. This is okay, yeah? Not everybody has to like people like Brigitte. Yeah?
All ages are open.
The idea of this exercise is to really create your persona. Yeah. Give me.
So, are we talking about our own persona or our client's persona?
Now, this is a very good. The question was: are we talking about ourselves or are we talking about the clients? We talk about the clients. Yeah. So the idea of this should be: who is my ideal client? If I can choose from all the people in this world, who I want that comes to me as the guest. And I just put Brigitte here as an example. And let me give you another example. We also have created the persona of Czech, for example. He is from the United Kingdom. He's about 30 years old. He's a manager for a big bank. He has very little time. He will only be in Dagestan for 4 days, but he has a bigger budget. He is willing to spend time. He loves photography. So this is a different persona, a different type of guests. Very different to Brigitte. But who would like to welcome Czech? Who would like to guide Czech here?
I like this budget.
Kamal likes his budget. Yes. Let's continue. What do we do next? Let's just, after we created Czech, let's plan Czech's holiday here in Dagestan. We have here so many tour guides, yeah? So let's just quickly grab a microphone and help me. He's here 4 days. He arrives on Friday lunchtime. What do we show him? What does he want to do? He flies in on Friday lunchtime. He leaves on Monday lunchtime. What does Czech do? What happens after he arrives at the airport?
Yeah, we just take them to have traditional Dagestani lunch.
Excellent. Okay, wonderful.
So I mean, do we start from he's arriving in the morning or in the
Lunchtime.
lunchtime?
Kamal, I think first it's a transfer from airport to hotel or to the restaurant.
Yeah. I mean, transfer is like goes by default. Like
Who picks him up? Who meets him at the airport? Or he is taking
myself, because I don't have anybody who would I entrust someone with 220 euro budget a day.
So Czech probably would be looking for a dedicated driver to use his time as efficiently as possible.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
So there has to be a driver. There has to be he has to speak like fluent English, and he has to have more. I mean, he has to be a good guide himself.
Okay.
And he has to have like most information with the localities, with the history. I mean, everything.
Okay, so where would Czech go in these 3 days when he is here? What
Okay,
places?
first I would start from Derbent,
Mhm.
but since he loves nature photography more, I wouldn't include like nature, like I mean, I would include more nature, more natural, like Slovak Canyon, like canyons, waterfalls, and I mean, he has to tell me what should I include to his tour more, like villages, like crafts, and yeah, cuisine. Of course, yeah, everybody loves to eat. And but he emphasized that he loves nature photography more, so maybe it has to be more the tour about more nature than villages, let's say.
Okay.
But,
Yeah.
okay, first if we go to Derbent, or first we start from Slovak Canyon,
Okay.
then we go to. Do we have 3 days or 4 days? 4 days.
Three.
Okay, 3 days.
2.5 actually.
Then we go to maybe Honzach Plateau,
Okay.
because it's all more about nature,
Mhm.
more about the water flows, more about like stone trenches, and then we maybe finish with Derbent.
Okay. Fair enough. I have two
One
other options.
more question. If it does it depend on weather? If it is or season, should it?
Yeah,
depend?
depends. Yeah, sure. That's why we don't take him to Gamsutl, because it has 1.5 kilometers trekking, and it's very dependable on the weather conditions.
Very good input. Yeah. Let us hear some more input, please.
Hello? Yes, I think you should consider his girlfriend's interest as well, since she's a YouTuber and it's a good advertising.
So I didn't hear, nobody told me about his girlfriend.
He's traveling with one, and she's a YouTuber.
Oh, yeah, I didn't read that. Yeah. Okay,
It can be a good
that
advertising.
makes sense, yeah.
Okay. So thank you very much for this input. Yeah. As we saw, probably he will not leave the yellow area, for example. Yeah. So everybody who is in blue and green and dark green will not have any chance to see him as a tourist.
There is a very important point, because the dark green area, we have to check with with the authorities first. Are the foreigners are allowed to visit those places?
They are.
Because
I have been there. They are.
Oh.
You just need to get a propusk.
Propusk, is it? It's the same conditions for the foreigners and for Russian
Yep.
citizens.
Yep.
Oh, that's great.
Yep. But this is thank you very much for this input. Yeah. The reason why we just made this exercise is if you have created your persona, if you think that Czech is a good person for you, a good guest for you because you like his wallet, yeah.
No, it was just a joke. Yeah.
This is okay. He is ready to spend money if he gets something in quality in return.
Absolutely.
But if you now realize that he's probably not interested in my hotel, which I have there, or he's not interested in this offer, which I have, then he's not the right person for you. Yeah. And you probably try somebody else, for example, Brigitte. Yeah. This worked so well. Let me just put Brigitte again, like just very quickly. We will not plan all 14 days, yeah. But what might Dagestan has to offer, or you have to offer for Brigitte, which Czech is not able to see because he's only here for a short time and he has different things. Just name me 3 things. What would Brigitte do?
Can I say?
Yes.
So I would show her Gunip, of course, because for me it's in top 3 in Dagestan. And then I would take her to South Dagestan. I suppose that South Dagestan isn't paid enough attention to. It really has great potential. That's why I would take her there. And I suppose she would be interested in ethnics, in customs. We can arrange for her workshops of making carpets. Even local tourists like it, and especially foreigner would like it too. We could take her to Kaitak region. And show her how called Vyshivka. Kaitak Vyshivka, maybe you heard about it. Also possible to arrange workshop. Samur Forest also, a lot of places I have named only.
Maybe she would be glad to have a sea basing or something like that. And one input for Salman of Kamal. Sorry, Kamal. And pay attention that she's alone, and those were 2 guys. And you have to spend. Will have much expenditures for those 2. Then
Yeah, sure,
it's
that's
easy
correct.
to take to deal with one person, and for 100 euro, then two persons for 220. 220. I mixed. I thought
Okay,
it was
so
120.
those 220 euros, was that for two persons?
That was his budget for one day. So
it's okay.
Anyway, I really like how this exercise is developing. This is really great. The point I want to make, yeah, when you want to join tourism here in Dagestan, you have to be aware who is your persona. You have to take a piece of paper. You can do this now, start now, and you have to think about who are your guests. How old are they? Where do they come from? The international guests we're talking about, yeah? You can take a new page and create your own persona, yeah? Give him or her a name. Think about it, like your ideal guest. Who would be your ideal guest who you want to meet here in Dagestan? Put a name on it. If you make this at home, really find a picture on the internet and give her or him a face. It should be. And also, of course, on Zoom, you're most welcome to join the exercise as well. Who would be your ideal guest? Here, everybody is writing very busily. It's great to see this participation because it's a really important exercise to be aware who are the people who you want to visit your region or your village, or who are the people who want to buy my artwork or to book my tour. And there are only maybe 10 different type of international people coming to Dagestan. Yeah, there is Brigitte, there is Czech, then maybe there is a family with kids, maybe there is somebody who does sports, and a couple of others, but there is only a certain amount of different types of people coming, and you have to be sure which ones you are addressing with your offer.
So should we consider international tourism?
Yes, this is about international tourism. This is like people who come from abroad. You can, of course, do this exercise exactly the same with Russian tourists as well. Yeah, there is no difference.
By the way, yesterday was a busy day in our mountains. There was something like a marathon competition. Who went to mountains? Yeah, they were running from Gamsuter, and they're still running.
Yeah, thank you very much, Nikita, for sharing your ideal guest, artist, maybe a photographer, any budget from Europe. So everybody has a different type of persona, yeah. And let's you can of course continue to refine your persona later. Let's just continue. The important thing is that you really then take the person you have put on your paper and plan his Dagestan holiday through, and just make sure that he really fits for what you offer. It makes no sense to have a perfect offer if this person has no time to reach your place. If you then find out that the person you would like to come, it's not very realistic that they come because it's just not a match, it just does not work out, then you have to change your persona.
So, would you like to take it back? Because I have still my persona.
Yes, we're part of this workshop is to get started.
Okay.
It takes a long time to do everything properly, much longer than this hour we have today. Yeah, I just want to share with you this method of building a persona and checking it, verifying it. The hard work you have then to do later or at home. Yeah, I just want to show you this method that you create this artificial, these tours which you would like to receive. So this was now the easy part, yeah? Now we continue with the hard part of the presentation. So we can take a new piece of paper. And now it's about my strengths, yeah? It's about what I can change myself, what I am really good at. So let me give you an example, yeah? For example, English, yeah? Your English is really good. This is excellent. This is a very strong point to receive international tourists. Or, for example, you or your village produces some local art, some local craftsmanship, something. So these are your strong points you can influence, you can work on, you can make even better related to your offer. For example, you have a lot of experience as a driver driving around Dagestan. You know Dagestan very well, a good strength for a tour guide, but it's something that you can learn and you can improve on. So you're most welcome to put down a couple of thoughts. And as I said, you will have enough time to continue this later on. I just want to give you the start to kickstart it. It's a very good tip to ask other people for their opinion. Just ask your friends, ask the people around you, what are really my strengths when it comes to international tourism? Maybe they will tell you, you have traveled so much, you have seen so much, this is your strength. Maybe they tell you, you are just a perfect tour guide. Yeah. Ask people for their opinion to help you identify your strength. Then let's take another piece of paper. Now we need about four pieces. This is all calculated, no problem. We have enough paper here. So we got strength on one side and my weaknesses on the other side. Again, these are things that I can improve. Yeah. Let me give you.
This is the special thing we have to ask from our friends.
Exactly. Here it's written.
Not about the strengths, but the weaknesses.
This is why I wrote here, ask true friends or outsiders for their opinion. Yeah. The emphasis on truth. True friends, yeah, and maybe because only if you are aware of your weaknesses or aware of the weaknesses in your region or in your village, yeah, then you can really start to improve them. And maybe your weakness here, more generally speaking, for a village is just, or for Dagestan, quality accommodation. It's a weakness of Dagestan in general. It's a weakness of every village we have. But it's something we can change. It's something we can work on.
Personal weaknesses or like local?
It depends on who you're representing. If you're representing a region, you can do it the weaknesses of my region. If you're making this workshop for your region, if you make it for yourself or for your company, it's about the weaknesses of your company. If you're just a single guide, what are my weaknesses? As I said, and you truly said it, yeah, the best way is to ask true friends. Or to get feedback from guests, honest feedback from the guests who already were here, to just ask them, what can we improve? And these first two sheets, which we created now, the important thing is that we can do something about it. Yeah, we know where we're good at, we know where we're bad at, and we can do something about it. So let's flip your sheets, put them on the other side, the weakness and the strength sheet, put them face down, so you have space to write. Sorry. Now we continue with the external opportunities. Yeah, and I give you an example of what this is. When you live next to the Sula Canyon, this is a wonderful external opportunity which helps you in terms of tourism. But you did not build the Sula Canyon, you did not put it here. It's just something that is here, that is good for you, but you have no influence on it. Yeah. If you have a wonderful ghost village, like in your region, or if you know a wonderful place, yeah, or your region is located exactly like the Buinaksk region, which we had there, which is like everybody passes there. This is a wonderful external opportunity, but it's not something that you control. You did not put your region where everybody goes. It just happens and you embrace it. You're happy about it. But you have to also write it down just to get a clearer picture. And then we take the fourth sheet. Exactly, threats, yeah. Exactly, it's a SWOT analysis, exactly. Let me finish this one and then we talk in general what the SWOT analysis is about. Yeah, so external threats, bad things which we don't control. And we had today already the bad roads to Kubachi, for example. Yeah, it's unrealistic that we change it on our level. It's just something that really is bad for me to bring the tourists in, but I have to live with it. Or, of course, Corona, for example, a global pandemic. Yeah, we cannot influence that the borders get shut down, but we have to have a plan to be ready. We have to have it written somewhere. These are the worst things which can happen. I cannot influence them, but I have to be ready. And this, again, everybody for himself. Yeah, it might be that I live somewhere in a village where there is the danger that when there's heavy rain, the road just gets taken away and then the tourists cannot get to the airport. I have to have a plan ready for this. I cannot influence it directly, but I have to have a plan.
Yeah, still this problem is going on in Goa. The bridge was really.
Exactly. Very good point.
It was collapsed by the truck.
Very good point. And when you are working tourism in such a place like the, sorry, you didn't hear it. Kamal brought the example that in the Goa village, which is a favorite tourism destination, the village was just swept away by the river. And this is a situation which exactly fits this sheet. It's an external threat. It can happen. I cannot directly influence as a tourism operator, but I have to be ready. And as we said before, what we did now is a SWOT analysis. This is a standard tool for any business for starting anything to methodically analyze my strength, my weaknesses, the external opportunities, what is helping me and what is my dangers. And this is a really important tool together with the persona. Yeah, you need to know who the people are who come, Jack and Brigitte, etc. You need to know where my strengths, my weaknesses, my opportunities and threats are. And you need to write this on a piece of paper. It's not good enough to talk about it. Only when you write it down, your brain is really thinking hard enough that you get the good results. And this is just a standard tool, and I highly recommend it that anybody starting any project wanting to be successful takes a lot of time to do a proper analysis of this, including friends and input from other people. So it's really quality. And here we have a comment from Nikita that Russia is extremely unpredictable country. Everything is constantly changing. This is exactly one of the external threats. You can't influence that things are changing in Russia, but you have to put it on your radar. You have to put it on the red slide. So this was the second part, and let's go to the third part. Very good comment from Eli. This might be the a reason to come to Russia because it's interesting when everything is changing all the time. Adventure. So the third part of my presentation. What is your unique value proposition? What is the one reason, the one experience why the guests must visit you or must buy your artwork or they must book your tour? Let me give you one example. This is Untitled. Yeah, this is the unique woodwork which is in one of the Dagestani villages here. And I also have here an example as well, just for the camera. So this is metal inlet in wooden decorative things. So like the medallion which I have here, or this wonderful bowl which you see. And this is unique. Yeah? The people come and visit Untitled because, not because of a wooden bowl, but because of it's a wooden bowl which is created in this way, only there. And this is their unique value proposition from Untitled. And they have wonderful experiences there. You can go there, you can make a workshop, you can try this yourself. You can buy this, you can bring it to your friends and family and say, this is unique, this is only in this one village, in this place in Dagestan, nowhere else in the world. And the question is, what is your unique value proposition? Because it's not good enough to just copy what somebody else does. It does not work this way. This is why at the very beginning, we started with what is important for you. What are you passionate about? You have to find something that works for you. It does not mean that you cannot look what other people do and learn from them and get inspiration from them. But what you have to create at the end is something which is unique to you. Yeah, this is the reason why somebody books Kamal's tour. This is the reason why somebody buys Basira's paintings. Yeah, this is the reason why somebody visited the Buinarsk region or your region. You really have to create a unique experience which is only there. And it's a hard thing to do. It takes a lot of work. So to sum up this workshop, do what works for you. Don't just copy someone else. Just because somebody else is also a tour guide and making cheap tours doesn't mean that you too have to do exactly the same thing to be successful. Just because somebody else opens up a hotel and you open a hotel doesn't mean that you have to do it in the same way to be successful.
Mark gave a very good example of this village house, right? Which is €7. And you can
Yep.
pay a night for 15.
As Kamal said, this ethnodome in Georgia, where they charge €70 a day, they found their unique value proposition. They found something which works exactly for them. They have this unique self-made furniture, this unique place. This is exactly what we are talking about. And you have to find something similar for your product, whatever it is. It's a tour, it's artifacts, or your region or your village. Then you really have to sit down and do a proper SWOT analysis. It's difficult, but it needs to be done. And you need to put the paper somewhere where you see them, just to remind yourself from time to time what are the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And the last one, you have to find your unique value proposition. You have to create a reason why the guests must come to you. You have to create the reason why they should buy your artwork. Unzukel is one of the examples here, because it's unique. It's a unique art only there, and it's beautiful. If you only remember one thing from my workshop today, yeah, I would like to remember you this: you are not your guest. What you like, how you go on holiday, might not be exactly the same thing what your guests, yeah. And to make sure all this thinking we did today, yeah, that it makes sense, you have to receive feedback from guests, from real guests. You have to find out how real guests think about your offer, your art, what you sell, your hotel which you build. And I would like to help you to do so, because we can start in May. Yeah, these are foreigners. Here we have the travel journalist who is running the Explorer magazine, Martin. Then we have other travelers who travel the world in the truck for many years already. We have people from England, from Germany. We have somebody like Brigitte. We have bloggers. We have YouTubers. We have people who just love to travel. And all these people are just waiting to come to Dagestan. I am in contact with them. They will come, and we will send them on a self-drive tour around Dagestan, or they will drive in their own car. So what I want to offer you today, when these people come, I will tell you in our chat, and whoever would like to show them their part of Dagestan, their offer, would like to get some feedback, this is the opportunity which you can use already in a few weeks. International tourists are coming in 2021. Corona is just temporary. This pandemic will go away. And to get feedback on how good your product really is, you have to test it with the real guests. So, as I said, you are most welcome to register and join the WhatsApp group. I will share there all the recordings from the conference, and I will share there the information when these guests are coming. Yeah, I will tell you, Marcos and Eli are coming for 2 weeks. They visit this and this region. Who is ready to receive them, show them something? And the same as Vali said, smart guests, take something from them as well. Take their feedback, take their information. This is especially when you have an offer and you think you have the greatest waterfall, for example, of the whole world. These people will tell you no. Like there are a couple really great waterfalls in the world, but yours is not the best. And then you probably start to think about, okay, then my unique value proposition is not my waterfall. Yeah. So this is my part for today. And so everything is open up for discussion. Let me close the presentation, switch to the main camera, grab your microphones. Please, if you say something, pick up the microphone so our guests on Zoom also hear it. Yes, please, Basira.
According to you, what's the best thing about Dagestan? For example, if you represent Dagestan in 3 words, how would you describe it to a tourist from Europe or from North America or from the Middle East? Like just 3 words.
Amazing density of attractions.
Oh, thank you.
Amazing density of tourist attractions. Like it's 5 words, but it's like nowhere in the world I have seen on such a small territory of about 200 by 200 kilometers, such an amount of amazing attractions. You have the nature here in Dagestan. You have the unique art and culture. You have these heterogenic, you have 30 different languages and villages and ethnicities living here in such a small place. This is, in my opinion, one of the biggest unique value propositions of Dagestan itself. Yeah, nowhere in the world you find so much on such a small space.
In Georgia, you do though.
Georgia has a similar, yeah, of course.
I think anyway.
Marta, you never been to Dagestan, did you?
No, I've never been. No,
Oh, okay.
Now we are looking forward to see you here.
There is
first.
Marta. There is a very good Soviet era Georgian movie, by the way. It's called Mimino. I strongly advise you to watch this movie. And there are Georgians, by the way. There is one Georgian man and an Armenian man. Why I remembered about this movie, and he also says we have the second best drinking water, the sweetest drinking water in our village, Tel Aviv. You know, Tel Aviv is in Georgia.
Yeah.
And the Armenian one says, okay, he's just mocking over him and says the first one maybe in Yerevan. Do you really think the first one is the greatest one, the most sweetest one is in like Yerevan or something? He says no, in San Francisco. With a current accent in Georgian accent. So that's what I'm saying. Georgia is the second maybe in this account. Just remember the movie; it's very interesting, and I really strongly advise you to watch it.
Okay, thank you. Was it called Mimino?
Oh, Mimino, yes, Mimino.
Okay, thank you.
So it's open for discussion. Any questions, comments? Get help from outside. It really helps.
Can I ask one more question?
Of course.
What about visas? Is it difficult now to obtain visas for Europeans? Because I think the main difference now between Georgia and Dagestan is that Georgia is a visa-free country for.
It's an independent country, first of all, but we are not independent country. That makes a lot of sense and problems.
No.
So fortunately, starting from 2021, hopefully the borders will open, and there is a new rule that 52 countries, I mean most of the Western Europe and Americas, yeah, apart from USA, Canada, and Great Britain, unfortunately, they can enter by e-visa it has to be issued within 4 days and $40 US dollars. So which makes a lot easier to access Russia.
Thank you.
And also, I don't see the necessity to get this e-visa, which is now very quick and convenient and costs $40. I don't see it necessarily as a negative thing, because it kind of separates the tourisms, you know. Maybe we want these kind of guests who are willing to pay a little bit for the visa, who are willing to go through the extra hurdle, to go to a place where not everybody goes. It's for sure a big step.
Makes sense.
It's for sure a big step forward that Russia has introduced these electronic visas, and when Corona clears up, they will be available. It's a big step forward, and I think it's okay while this electronic visa stays. It's not necessarily a bad thing that we have a little.
So, but as you know, as we said, in Russia nothing is so predictable. There is nothing so so simple. But with these electronic visas, you cannot enter any airport in Russia. There are some specific airports, and you can enter, and you have to fly. You cannot fly directly from Istanbul or from Dubai to Makhachkala.
Yeah, but not a big issue, because I think 98% of the potential Dagestan guests from Europe will come over Moscow. No issue.
So that's not a big issue.
Andrew.
Yeah, I will say the question about the visas, it is a big obstacle for Western tourists to come to Dagestan.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's a visa to Russia, but the travel warning to Dagestan is at the highest level of dangerous and not safe. Now, we know it's not like that, but unfortunately, many tourists don't know that. So when they read the travel warnings that the governments issue, many of them immediately decide, okay, I'm not going. Now, obviously, we can't control this, but that's an issue. Then on your visa application, if you put that you're visiting Dagestan, you will have problems with the Russian embassy. It's very frustrating. So we tell our tourists, do not write Dagestan on your application, write Moscow and St. Petersburg, and that's it.
Just fine.
Good point.
And then, you showed region number 4, Andreas, like these border zone regions. These are in some ways the most attractive because they're so untouched, but very difficult for foreigners to go there. You have to get the propusк, you have to apply 60 days in advance.
Yeah, but I don't, seriously, from my own experience, the visas, the people just accept it as a matter of fact that they have to get a visa because they just want to come here. Their want to visit Dagestan is so big that they are ready to go through the visa process. They are ready to apply for a border permit in 60 days in advance. The European guests, international guests, they plan ahead. I have received last week a booking for July, a family, 3 weeks, July 2022. Yeah, this is how international guests are thinking. So I don't think if they really want to get this propusк, we can organize it for them. It's not an issue.
Right, but it makes the barrier so much higher. It makes the number of tourists willing to do it that much less.
This means we have to work even harder to make an attractive offer, to have a unique value proposition, to make their want that they want to come to Dagestan so high that they are willing to overcome these hurdles.
Yeah, but I do think that's why is tourism so much higher now in Georgia, the South Caucasus than the North Caucasus, because the barriers are so much less, way less, easier to get visas. They're in, they have the endorsements from the Western governments, and obviously there's things we can't control with politics and conflict and etc. But the more you lower barriers, the more tourism increases. So yeah, I just wanted to say it does make it difficult, the visa situation. Obviously we want to overcome it.
Yep.
I agree with something here, if I may.
Of course. Thank you, Florian.
Sorry, I've been listening all the time and kind of kept quiet, but I have been.
Could you introduce yourself? Yeah.
Yeah, I've been working in tourism all my life. I have more than 30 years experience in international hotel and tourism management. And I've done all jobs from receptionist to hotel manager, cruise director, I was running a destination management organization in Austria and so on. And since 2014, I've run my own tourism consulting business. And since 2018, I also started my own company in Georgia in tourism consulting. Like Marta, I arrived later, only 2017, but fell in love with this country. And I think my returns surpassed Marta's, although I only had like 3.5 years to do so. But every opportunity I have, I visit Georgia. I live in Romania, which is only interesting as a side aspect that also Romania is a post-communist country. And I've been doing like also projects in Armenia and in Azerbaijan. What I wanted to add to the statements of like how much handicap is a visa. For example, let's say Azerbaijan is an independent country. Okay, they could do whatever they want. Azerbaijan has e-visa, which is fairly easy. Yes, takes about 3 days. It costs less than yours. I think it's about $30. Not a big hassle, you would say. But don't forget, Europeans are now so spoiled because we in the EU, we don't even have borders, you know. I mean, now with the pandemic, we got our borders back again because we need to control who's coming in and who's going out. But if you forget the pandemic, I mean, you hop in your car and you travel through 10 states in Europe without ever having to stop at the border, don't show your passport, you don't have to do anything. And in most countries, you even pay with the same currency. So you have to understand that we Europeans are very spoiled. In my mind, Andreas's argument is valid if we are talking about very well-educated potential visitors who have already a lot of knowledge about Dagestan. If you give me the option, come to Dagestan or come to Georgia, and let's say I haven't been to either of the countries, I'll go, okay, what's the difficulty? Oh, via Moscow, okay, and then there, and boom, how long does that take? And I need a visa. Oh, Jesus, okay. To Georgia, I can fly with, I don't know, 30 different airlines, who most likely all arrive at horrible hours of the morning. But anyway, I don't need a visa, I don't need any permit, I don't need nothing at all. I'm freer than in my own country, I have to say, you know. I would like to keep that in mind. Just the Western European mentality is more and more spoiled in that sense. And before Andreas has contacted me by luck, I think you found me on LinkedIn and sent me a link to your wonderful homepage, which is, I think, should be something like the official tourism page of Dagestan, because
thank you. There are many good pages. They are just not in English, unfortunately.
But it's wonderful pictures, it's storytelling, it's warm, it's with so much love for the country, for the villages, for the people who live there. It shows family, it shows everything. I mean, I loved it, you know, I loved it. It's really, really good. But again, the less restrictions you have, that is with visas, that is accessibility of the country to start with, you know, and then it's the accessibility of the regions you want to explore. Georgia is not perfect in that sense either, far from it for many areas. But we do expect, like if we are nature lovers and Dagestan has so much to offer, the idea that I have to get some kind of guide to take me to the best areas, which may be sort of, we are thinking of KGB or something in the back of our minds already, is not really that thrilling. Long statement.
Thank you. Before we open the official discussion, and I will ask the international guests who joined here also to introduce themselves. There is one more small contribution prepared by Dimitri, and it's a perfect example how to bring tourism into these dark green regions, how to bring people, to show people these regions where Andrew was talking about, where you need propuski, which are difficult to access when the roads are bad. Dimitri, are you ready? No? Okay. Then we will start his part when he's back.
Yeah, can I add some remarks for the gentleman, Romanian,
Florian.
Austrian. What's your name, please?
Florian.
Florian, nice to meet you. I'm Kamal. You made a very good point, and I had a couple from USA. They were like on their 60s, and they have already grown children. They were like very well educated. I mean, those tourists Florian mentioned, they had a very good like methodology of their international traveling, and what they do. And when I asked them, we already traveled like 4 days, and when I asked them, so why Dagestan? How did you end up here? So they said, we have a very good method. We opened the state secretary main page, and the section which is like the red alert section, where you have to never go there. So what they do, they just make a list of these countries, and in this way they started from Iran, and that year before pandemic they were already traveling the fourth time to Iran, and they were not only like traveling, they were like deep immersive traveling, staying with the families. They already have the family friends there, like the typical Iranian families in the villages. So that's their method, and that's what they do. And they say this method works like perfectly. Of course, they do some study if there are not like ongoing like war conflict or pandemic or whatever. All the other cases, it was like very perfect, the best experiences in their life. But for this experience and for this kind of your approach to your tourism, you have to be very, very well educated, and you have to have some good budget. I mean, they traveled more than 100 countries in the world together. So we have to like pick our audience and deliver to this kind of audience, like very, I think that was your point, Andreas, when you said the visa is not an issue. So
yeah, this is exactly the reason why we did this exercise.
Absolutely, yeah.
That we have to understand who we want as our guests, and then do everything that these guests come. Make Dagestan an attractive destination.
Make Dagestan a great tourism destination again.
Yep. Yeah. So Dimitri, are you with us already?